It's Our Story. Barry Rosenberg, Denver, Colorado.
I think what you talked about, most nursing homes were either corporations or limited liability corporations, so I don't think they have to have the openness. Now, each nursing home is supposed to have, if you're using Medicaid monies, of course, you're subjected to federal rules and regulations, but also most nursing homes where there's public money has ombudsman or ombudsperson who can advocate for the persons in the nursing homes. Now, a lot of people may not know that or be able to articulate that. When I went to Berkeley in 1976, and that was my biggest concern, is are there people in the Bay Area who are living in nursing homes? And I remember CIL saying there are, and one of the things that we do is we go into the nursing home and let people know about the resources available to make those needs known. And I remember there was the New Options program, again in the 70s in Houston, where there was some training monies available to train people in nursing homes to know how to live independently. And then once they got all the information, they could go and seek subsidized housing if they needed that, and hopefully pool monies together to get an attendant. So much of independent living is the resources within the community. You can have the best independent living center in the country, but if you don't have the resources, from your state government, particularly Medicaid, you're going to, again, either you have to be really rich, really, really resourceful to, pool money with some other people, live with your parents, or live in a nursing home. Someone said to live independently, you have to, there has to be the desire to live independently. You have to want to live independently. 2, you have to have the resources. And this guy, I remember, gave an example. Daniel Boone, if he was, he lived in Kentucky and he killed deer and elk, I'm sure, and was able to get food and clothing and shelter. If he lived in the desert of Nevada, he wouldn't be as independent because that state had resources, game and timber and such. So I think having resources, but beyond that, you got to know how to use the resources. There are people in nursing homes in Colorado who say, well, there isn't the money to pay for community-based services. I need 24-hour services. You say, why do you need 24-hour services? You need an aide, an attendant in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. You're sleeping at night. And if you have a phone next to you or a lifeline device, you can live independently. And some people, they hear all these horror stories, most of which are perpetuated by the nursing homes. Oh, you'll be alone for days at a time before the agency comes and serves you. But I think some of it is, I think people have access to information, but it could be on a more structured basis. It would be nice if the independent living centers were to go in on a periodic basis to teach skills like New Options, how to manage an attendant, how to secure subsidized housing, how to pick a doctor, how to pick a home health agency or another service provider, on and on and on, so people can get the information so that when they make the leap into the community, they're armed with information and resources and backup. But I'm not sure there's a sustained effort. Years ago, and I'm not popular for saying this, but years ago there was a nursing home, and it was a fancier nursing home, and for some reason they forged a deal with the state, and they had a lot of younger disabled people, and the deal was they'd get a higher rate of reimbursement if they transitioned people out. Well, they did get a higher rate of reimbursement, and they transitioned people out, and the minute people got out, and there were community-based services then, not a one of them wanted to ever go back. They knew what freedom was, and I thought it was a good deal. The nursing home provided additional services, got more money, but the people left. So I think if there are some creative, decent people in that industry, and I'm sure there are some, to develop a program, a real viable program, go to the state, and I hope community leaders would, in the disability community, would recognize this, because I think the short run, it's hard to see, no one wants to see someone in a nursing home, it's like I think the analogy, someone being in jail and being in jail for a crime they never committed, other than they happen to be disabled. But if there is a short-term program and the ultimate end is to get people in the community, and if it necessitates a higher rate, I think people should be amenable to that kind of program. So I think, and I think there needs to be more outreach into nursing homes to begin to identify people who want to live independently and to provide those kind of services. I will say too that Atlantis and some of the other, I know the Boulder Independent Living Center have been involved in implementing a program whereby people in nursing homes can get Section 8 vouchers, which is like getting a bar of gold to move out of the nursing home. So, unfortunately, there are still vouchers available. So I think the outreach has to be greater to get people, identify people, provide a semblance of skills, get the vouchers, provide the community-based services once they get the vouchers.
The It's Our Story project is a national effort to make disability history public and accessible. Visit us at www.itsourstory.org or on the It's Our Story project YouTube channel.